Holy Jonathan Majors in Creed 3, Batman! Tiki here, and I am watching through each and every episode of Batman Beyond for the first time. Dragon, tell them why we're here!
Well, you see, folks, long ago, I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way. But that was the past, and we must now enter the Batman's future.
And tonight, we are back after an extended hiatus. I am sorry about that, but we are covering Big Time. Oh, yes. All right. And Dragon, I got to tell you, man, I really like this one. This is, for me, this is definitely the best season 3 episode so far. I'm all about that character work, and this episode kind of has it in spades. I feel like this is obviously the best kind of exploration of Terry's, past that we've had so far, I think. The Big Time character is pretty memorable, especially in the third act, needless to say. And also, we got Ruger on this, which is great. So, yeah, I'm excited to jump into this, Dragon. It's been a while since I've had an episode where I'm, actively enthusiastic about it.
Bring on the Rugula!
Oh, yeah. As soon as I saw his name in the credits, man, I was like, oh, boy. Okay, this is going to be a good one. All right. So, background, Dragon.
All right. So, this was directed by the great James Tucker, who really got his start in the director's chair on Batman Beyond, if memory serves. He did Egg Baby. That was his first one. He didn't get to choose him. He was just kind of
Egg Baby.
That's the thing. James Tucker usually does very Silver Age ideas. I mean, one could argue this episode is still in the Silver Age vein because you did have a lot of characters turning into monster kind of plots.
Sure, it's a Silver Age story, but just told through a more kind of grounded lens than something like Egg.
Well, as you could say with all 3 of his episodes so far, you get Egg Baby, very Silver Age. You have Ace in the Hole, and Ace the Bat Hound, very Silver Age character, and Big Time. So our writer, we had a duo with the writers here. We had, not working necessarily in conjunction, but basically doing 2 passes on it. You have Bob Goodman. I believe this might be the last one for a while, if not the last one for Bob Goodman. I'm pretty sure, given it's the last season, is the last one we got from Goodman. He writer behind Blackout, the big Ink introduction episode, Ascension, the season 1 finale, Zeta, he really ran with Zeta, got a whole spin-off out of that, and Payback, a good mystery episode. Now our other writer, as Tiki has kind of tipped the hat to here, it's Tom Ruger.
Oh yeah.
Now, Tom Ruger, for us, in our heart of hearts, he will always be, one of the man who ran the ship on Freakazoid.
Definitely.
Also, one of the producers on Batman the Animated Series. Pretty much all the Amblin shows, Ruger had some involvement. I want to say, at least a large majority of them. Like Animaniacs, that was his baby as well. But so Freakazoid in our hearts. As far as his direct work with Batman, with the writing, Beware the Gray Ghost, that was him. And it's Never Too Late, the big Arnold Stromwell episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Now, Tiki, I know it's been a while, so I'm going to ask you. So I want you to
brace yourself. Grayson Dragon.
You remembered.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm impressed. The boy can be taught. He remembered. Everyone. You have to understand this is a big deal, okay? Because Tiki, for the longest time,
I forgot one fucking time, and you will never let me forget it.
He forgot that person that lived in Manor with the initials DG.
Right.
His name.
Why is that even relevant to this episode, Dragon?
You just brought it up. I was going to bring up something else.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Right.
Anyway, brace yourself, okay? The studio that brought this episode to life. It wasn't DG. It's more like DY. Why? Because it was little bit of Dong Yang, mostly Coco. Little bit of Dong Yang, mostly Coco.
All right.
Anyway,
okay.
So Not a whole lot of background. Just really big episode where we finally, in a really large, kind of, taking center stage way, we address Terry's record. We kind of say what happened for the most part here. We get into, Terry's, his criminal background. Or at least vaguely criminal, more juvenile. The whole juvie thing we've set up, we get into that. Got some Two-Face parallels this episode.
It's almost kind of like Two-Face meets Clayface, right?
Indeed, yes. A lot of that there. Stephen Baldwin playing Charlie here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking it sounded familiar. That makes sense.
Yeah, we had three big guest names this episode. We have Stephen Baldwin, we have William H. Macy, and
wait. Was William H. Macy the main bad guy?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, I did not recognize. That's great.
Yeah. And Robert Patrick from Peacemaker.
Oh, wow. Oh damn, this is a stacked cast.
Tiki, it's been a while. Remind me, because I know you always said. I'm pretty sure you saw season 1 of Peacemaker, didn't you?
Yes.
Good, guys. I want to make sure I wasn't crazy. I'm pretty sure you saw it.
No. I saw it. I eventually did see it.
Yes, it
was like after Guardians 3. I was like, okay, I need to catch up on this.
Good. Okay, one other factoid, and then we're just going to jump into it. This one's kind of interesting. So, if you remember, in the same with the same director, James Tucker's episode, Ace in the Hole, we brought up Sarah Stone. Now, you'll notice we bring it up here as well. So, the way the story goes, I don't know how true it is. I think it's true, but it sounds like these episodes might have been at least initially planned to air opposite each other. Basically, we would have introduced Sarah Stone here, right, with the big time character, and then when we call it back in the Ace in the Hole episode, Terry says, "You're scaring me," like bringing up the whole, Sarah Stone thing. That would have been like, "Oh God, I saw what happened to my buddy. I don't want this to happen to the dog."
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
So that's the thing. The word on the street is like that was like it was planned, but the way they chopped up the seasons and just the production order was, I'm sure the movie happening at the same time probably didn't help. It probably gets
muddied the waters.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, Miss Novak. Anyway.
We've got so much mileage out of that. It's such a random line.
It's funny. There was a lot of Better Call Saul mentioned while you were gone too.
Really,
the whole thing went into like a whole rich Monsters at Work season 2 as a character who's portrayed a lot like Rich Schweikert.
Oh God, is that worth watching?
It's better than the first season. Yeah,
it's better than the first season. Okay, I'll check it out.
Iffy finale, but everything else at that point though.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
All right. Well, let's get into it. But before we do, let's, of course, shout out some comments. We got Code Gios. He says, I like how the characters wear titles on the shirts because it's a cute detail.
Yeah.
And then Code Gios also says in relation to that, in the thumbnail, Charlie looks angry that Terry isn't complimenting his shirt. Come on, TT, it's got my name on it and everything. What's the deal? Why aren't you impressed? We have Work Monarch. Good to see you. They're saying this is mainly a Terry episode and Big Time is just a generic bad friend. I mean, yeah, he's definitely a bad friend. I wouldn't necessarily call him generic, though, and we'll get into it. I do think his character is... you're right that most of the complexity does come from, Terry grappling with his character. He's not super complex, but it is a Stephen Baldwin performance. I think he's a compelling enough character. I wouldn't necessarily call him generic.
Well, he's not, stomping on the ground saying, "That's not Alec!" He's not doing that.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. In the South Park movie, they bomb the Baldwins.
Oh, really?
As in the U.S. government bombs the Baldwins, all of them.
Well, did they get Adam Baldwin?
All of them, Dragon.
That's the thing. Adam Baldwin isn't related to the Baldwins. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, I don't know. Then just
you say all the Baldwins. You mean all the Baldwins, or just like the
just the Baldwin brothers, Dragon?
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. Okay, I just want to make sure we can kill off Adam Baldwin. Okay.
We loved your movie, Conan. You laughed. Conan O'Brien fucking jumps out a window.
Oh, have you seen The Hot Ones with Conan O'Brien yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, you gotta see that one.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's see. Yeah, Code Chaos. I do apologize for these kind of taking a little bit more of a hiatus than we would have wanted. It's just I had my Vegas trip coming up, and that just we were kind of planning around that schedule, and so the timing just didn't work out to do another one before this. But hey, we're back.
Yeah, Tiki, I'm just gonna say it, okay? You know, Kogias, Tiki doesn't love you anymore. That's why we went on hiatus.
What the fuck, dude? Oh God. I mean, first of all, Dragon, I love all my fans, but love is a strong word. I don't personally love Code Geass because I don't know the man. All right. Anyways.
Okay.
Code Geass also says, Bruce, I don't get what the big deal about Charlie is. Terry, he hit it big time. Bruce, he was a big time Rush.
What's that?
It was a boy band in the 2010s.
Shway.
All right, I just love how in that equation it's Bruce that makes the big time Rush reference.
Well, he's been around longer. He knows who Big Time Rush is. Terry has no idea who Big Time Rush is.
I'm not gonna lie, I was considering including Big Time Rush in the Holy, but did you like
Big Time Rush?
Did you like the Jonathan Majors Holy Dragon? I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I like it. Yes, you know, it's just he's a bit sullied these days, but I do like the reference.
Well, yeah, I know he's sullied these days. Yes, but still.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it.
So we have an almost Nolan-esque heist of some Wayne Powers chemicals.
I mean, that's kind of being generous, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, Dragon. This opening sequence is like it's not terrible, but it's very much like just kind of throwing you into it. And I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of starting the episode with an action sequence and having it like just be like in the middle of the story. I don't know. It just kind of it's just not really my thing.
Well, I mean, I say Nolan-esque because it's like the truck. It's kind of like the whole like Harvey Dent and the kind of the convoy scene a little bit. I don't know. It's like we're kind of pulling up next to another vehicle and we're kind of
right, yeah, like a little bit.
That's all I mean by Nolan. I mean it's literally like going for like a full on it's not like the opening of the Dark Knight.
Well, that's what I was more thinking.
No.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Anyway, points where we have a chemical, chemical heist on the truck while it's still going. Basically, a truck filled with Serostone. This very powerful growth hormone. We're going to talk about more later. You have Kairos and his men. Stick them up. They toss the guards out. Batman's in pursuit as he is wont to do. You have some Batman versus Kairos action.
What's really funny about Kairos is that his design very much feels like he would be voiced by Tim Curry.
I mean, a little bit. I can kind of see that.
Right? Like the goatee, man. Tim Curry has voiced a lot. I'm specifically thinking of Witch's Ghost.
Yeah.
He looks a lot like the Tim Curry character from Witch's Ghost. I'm not going to lie.
It's fun that we've had Tim Curry in Batman Beyond, too.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so again, we have Kairos here. Now, Kairos is the William H. Macy character. He's got like these, he's got these Wolverine claw-like weapons.
I was going to ask you about Dragon. What the fuck is up with that?
Well,
that threw me off.
I remember, Tiki. There's like some sort of Asian weapon that is like the Wolverine claws, which is why we see it pop up in a few other things. Even in Iron Fist. Remember, Claire had Claire and Iron Fist. She could basically use essentially the
Do you really think I remember anything about Iron Fist?
Tiki, I don't think you remember what you had for breakfast.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Do you know what the one thing I actually remember about Iron Fist is besides fucking Ward Beecham?
The ice cream death?
No, that one random fucking scene from the first episode where it's like he stumbles upon a homeless person with a cell phone, and he's like, hey, I've got this cell phone that you can use to like fucking do like 10 minutes of exposition on. You want it? I'm like, what the fuck is this, man? This is such bad writing.
Do you want me to get super deep cuts here for a second?
Sure, why not?
Okay, the main reason I remember that Claire, the Claire with the Wolverine claws thing.
Yeah.
To get the Luke Cage figure from the Marvel Legends line,
it
comes with Claire. That was like the big thing. Oh yeah, you get Claire and you get Luke Cage. That's pretty cool. But Claire, she has like they wanted to give her like kind of cool accessories because otherwise she's just a nurse. Nothing against that, but not really an action figure kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they used like her Iron Fist regalia, which is like, hey, she has like the weapon she put on that one time. So she kind of has the Wolverine claws.
That one time, it was
Yeah.
so memorable. I do not remember it at all, not in the slightest.
No, but the point being, like, there is like a real weapon that's like the Wolverine claws, but I'm sure literally making it 3 claws, and that's very much like a regular. We're kind of referencing.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on here? Is this like a crossover?
So there's a basis, but Bruce Timm, he loves putting some Marvel nods in there when he can.
Sure,
so
sure.
A bit of yeah. Anyway,
all right.
So we have some action, some slashy going on here. Actually, slashes the bat suit. It's pretty big. Deflects a batarang.
I will say a detail of this episode that I really appreciated is that throughout the episode, when the batsuit gets damaged, you do see that damage. I do appreciate that. You don't always see that.
Oh yeah, mainly because it's a pain to animate because you have to animate all the circuitry lines under the costume.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's the thing. I do feel like just animation wise, there's a couple scenes in particular. There's one scene in particular that really stood out for me for really good animation. We'll get to it, but anyways.
Let's see. Deflects a batarang, which causes a leak of the hazardous Sarah Stone, and we have this great line to Bruce, like, "Is that bad?" This is like, only if you touch it, taste, or smell it. They all evacuate. All right, let's see. So
I feel like Bruce Wayne is very much in sassy mode this episode.
Well, isn't he always in this show, technically?
Well, yeah, but this episode in particular, he's very much like, oh, fucking Terry, he's got to learn this lesson. I'm just gonna fucking let it ride out.
You know who else gave me issues like this?
Oh, God.
DG. Now I'm gonna let the audience figure out who that is. But anyway. Okay.
Just insert that one gif of Charlie from It's Always Sunny with the whiteboard.
Yep. Exactly. Right. Okay, so we have Kara saying, "Well, if you want it so bad, Batman, we'll get the next batch." Throws a grenade blast. Batman, he saves the guards from saves. I believe actually it's the goon. Yeah, saves the goons from the blast. Good on him. Okay, anyway, so we're at a cafe. We're on the phone for the exposition here, which mentioned Sarah Stone. It's this growth hormone. It's basically it's designed for plants to help with the farming and everything. It basically has the potential to make Wayne Powers billions.
You know what I thought of when I heard about the farming thing, Dragon?
Logan?
No. Do you know what Horizons is from Epcot?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so it's basically like a glimpse into the future, and there's like 3 different colonies. There's like a space colony, an underwater colony, and then a farming colony. So when I heard about that stuff, I was like, "Oh God, it's like it's like something that they made for Mesa Verde, but that caused the fucking downfall of Mesa Verde." No, not the bank, because believe me, I thought about that every time it came up. All right. Anyways, yes, the desert, because the whole thing is it's a farming colony in the middle of the desert, and it's called Mesa Verde. Anyways. All right.
So Agrichem, they've been after Agrichem's like a rival, chemical company. They're trying to basically steal, like this potentially, the $1 billion idea from Wayne Powers. And Agrichem has been, basically they've been after it for years. Karos has an Interpol file, so he's probably been hired. He does a number of high-tech robberies on the regular, so they probably have contracted him for this. Bruce is going to call Interpol and get some more intel on the guy. But meanwhile, while this is, the point is Bruce is going to look into things further, obviously. But while this is going on, during the call, it's interrupted by a big blonde guy putting the moves on Dana. Getting handsy with Dana.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's doing more than putting the moves on her, man. He's being straight up like physically aggressive with her.
This is seemingly a Biff Tannen encounter here. Seemingly
right.
It's gonna go the way of that. But Terry goes over there and he's about to say, "Get your big meat hooks off."
No, he specifically says, "You messed with the wrong booth, pal."
Yeah, which is a great line.
That is a good line. Yeah.
He's about to deck the guy, and they realize they know each other.
But I gotta tell you, Dragon, I am a sucker for character reveals like this, where it's like where a character comes in and they look all intimidating, but it's like, hey, it's you. I'm a sucker for that. It's just one of those things. It's kind of a cliche at this point, but it always works for me.
Yeah. Like Big Time? TT!
Oh, God.
Now, here's what's really great about this scene, too, especially on the rewatch. Dana knows this guy. So
yeah, for sure. I caught up. I caught that right away, that she was very apprehensive, and not just because, this dude was obviously about to fucking assault her. Frankly, you know what, Dragon? That's like, I will say that is the one thing that I will give against this episode, is that I get that this guy is old friends with Terry. I get that Terry has guilt about it. I kind of feel like they almost did too good of a job of introducing him as an asshole, because frankly, I'm not gonna lie, Dragon, I think Terry's a little bit of an asshole for just walking away with this guy after he almost assaults Dana. You know what I mean? Like, that is a shitty boyfriend move, man.
Here is the question, though. Here's what I posed to you. This is why I bring it up. Okay, the whole she knows this guy. Now, Terry didn't initially recognize him either. Now, do you think do you think she, because it's been a while, she didn't fully recognize him? Or do you think there's like an element there she doesn't like he's getting handsy because it's him?
I think there's an element of that. I mean, she obviously knows who she is by the time he walks away from the booth. So.
Yeah. By that time, I was saying in the moment when it's happening, do you think she recognized him more as a moment like Terry? Just kind of
the thing is, she's like, oh, I know who this is. I'm pretty sure that she's known the whole. I don't really think it matters that much, but yeah, I'm pretty sure she knew the whole time.
Yeah. It is pretty. It's pretty skeezy for sure, but I don't know. Terry, I think he does take him away from the situation. He was about to deck him in Dana's honor, but then again, he did kind of stop there and got chummy with him. But I don't know. Part of me read the scene as, if Dana knows who that guy is, she knows, okay, he doesn't mean me harm, but I don't like him touching me like this.
Sure.
So I don't know how personally she's taking it.
I feel like if this episode was made nowadays, we would not have the actual physical contact.
No, we wouldn't. You're right about that. It's also kind of a bit of then in the future, mind you. But, then thinking now, I don't know. Okay, anyway, so Max there, too. Max is like, who the heck is this guy? So Max is kind of
right.
Anyway, so Dana knows that this guy's, and she ain't happy about it. It's Charlie Big Time Bigelow.
Big Time? TT?
Yep. So Terry introduces, he was always scheming about making it big time, and the name stuck. Meanwhile, Tiny Terry, because he was always thinking small.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Big Time is an excellent nickname, Dragon. That's a great nickname. TT, not so much.
Well, he was younger and juvie and everything too.
Sure. All right.
Anyway, so Dana is rightfully concerned. It says oh, you can make it up to me, buy me a burger. So they're gonna catch up again. Terry's taking him out of the situation though, so he's getting them out of there. So Terry and Charlie get a talk, and they get catching up after said burger. We skipped over the burger scene. No, we didn't. They did. But anyway, life goes on. He's not wounded that Terry wasn't there when he got released. It sounds like, as we say later on, Terry did email him. He didn't just completely cut the guy like a bad habit.
Right.
So apparently Charlie's made contacts in jail. Well, he was in jail for 3 years, and he wants Terry's assistance on a job. And Terry, Terry's gone
like
straight.
That as soon as that gets brought up, he just nopes the fuck out initially.
Nope. Gets out there. It's just I got a life chart. And again, Will Friedle really good in this episode too. Really playing Terry having to confront.
I would wager to say this is probably one of his best single episode performances, because he really is grappling with a lot, as far as his guilt.
Oh yeah. So Charlie, I have life now. I got school. I got a real job. And he calls Charlie out on his recklessness, and he says yeah, you haven't. And Charlie's digging in now. It's you have this nice life because of me. You owe me one. He's for playing your part down. So Terry smartly doesn't. I love he doesn't just. It's not an after school special. He's not just instantly. Okay, well, I'll kowtow to you, Mister.
Right.
So Terry smartly says, "Grow up, Charlie, for your own sake." This is going to sound all hammy here, but I'm just going to go for it.
Oh God,
schmaltzy perhaps.
Okay.
You know what? I think it's a good message to the kids out there. Like, don't let the guy, like walk all over. It's kind of like a cool version of the after school special.
Honestly, Dragon, low key, I don't want to get into details, but I've been very much struggling with that. So this is a good episode for me to see.
Yeah.
All right. And also, Warp Monarch just says, gotta admit, Charlie knew how to press Terry's buttons. And yeah, I think Charlie came like right away. He fucking knew that he was going to use the whole thing of like the guilt about Terry getting out early and him. Like he knew exactly what angle to play with him.
Yep. And Charlie, then he changes his tune rather fast. He apologizes. He makes the play that, next con can't get work, so he doesn't have as many options. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you know anyone who'd hire someone like me, McGinnis?
Smash cut? No, I can't risk it.
Okay, Dragon, he doesn't have a lot to do this episode, so would you consider that to be the Great Conroy? It's honestly more the timing than the performance, but I did crack up.
It is pretty good. No, I can't risk it. Just like cuts him out from the knees. Like, no. No, Terry.
All right.
Anyway, so we're in the Batcave. Basically says, why? Because he's an ex-con? So was I. You didn't spend 3 years in prison.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, Terry basically makes
the logic that Bruce is running with, where it's like, prison obviously different than juvie. You're obviously going to come in contact with a lot more shady people, and this guy already mentioned that he had contacts. So yeah.
Yeah, it's also it's a huge component for Batman. We talked about this many times throughout the animated series, and it's been brought up in the comments a little bit here with the Scarface. That. Yeah, Bruce in the past, he has, he believes in reforming the bad guys. He desperately wants to do it. He wants it to work so often. It almost works, and then it fails miserably, which is why, again...
we had a whole season of the Batman. I believe that was the New Adventures, right? Where it was like a lot of the season was just like Reformation stories.
Honestly, I think season 3, just like Batman the Animated Series, or the Batman Robin Adventures.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
Batman Robin Adventures, however you want to label it, that one, because we have Harley's Holiday, we have Riddler's Reform, we have we have a number of
the one with Baby Doll and Croc.
That one was that was New Adventures, but yeah, but you get the idea. So yes, we have between those two. We've had a lot of reform stories, and a couple things to bear in mind. There is that one. I think Bruce has a softer spot for the folks in Arkham because again, there is actually kind of a mental component there where these guys actually do need help, and they could, it's not purely. And we have seen him help people who aren't kind of mentally ill or former criminals and supervillains who have a mental illness they're trying to contend with.
Right.
You also have like the big Old Wounds episode where there was a guy, Batman. He regretted being too aggressive when he was interrogating him in front of his kid and everything, and he gave him a second chance. He employed him basically for
that's a really good episode, actually.
Yeah, so I think it's the fact that
I hate to sound like a nitpicky person, but it's technically volume 3, not season 3.
Kogias, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
You just got cinema sinned, Dragon.
Don't encourage him.
Plot hole. All right, I'm sorry.
Anyway. All right. The fact is, Bruce can. I think Bruce, he's vetted all these. He's vetted. He knows his bad guys. He's vetted the people that he's given second chances to, and in that respect, as we see later, he's also vetted Charlie. And it's interesting. It's kind of a mentor thing. He's seen the writing on the wall. He knows Charlie's disingenuous, and I think there's a little bit of kind of trust here. Where he wants Terry to trust him when he says no, this is a bad idea. But by the same token, Terry kind of throws at him that you should trust me on this. But later on, it does beg the question: does Bruce allow this? Because it will allow an opportunity to catch the bad guy.
Okay, the way I read it the first time was I read it as Bruce was basically like, well, I can't talk this kid out of it, so it's just going to have to be kind of like a life lesson.
Yeah.
That's how I read it.
Yeah. I think that's a good read on it. I think that's, I don't think Bruce is necessarily being like, Terry is making a good emotional point here that, the only reason when you met me, I was just in juvie is because of this guy here. So this is him like kind of feeding into what Charlie was laying out there. I just want to give him a chance too. He gave me a chance. I want to give a chance just like you gave to me. And, and there's that question. Like, is Bruce convinced? Probably not. Mm-hmm. It's that mission of helping people in the ex-cons. By the same token, him saying yes, he's looked into his records, looked into his connections. Bruce Wayne's no dummy. I don't think it's him actually giving him a chance, but could it be Terry's credibility of like, I'm going to give him a shot, but I'm going to be prepared just in case this doesn't.
That's more or less how I read it. Yeah.
Anyway, so Terry calls Charlie with the news. He got him a data entry job. And then we reveal that, Bruce was right yet again. Charlie is in league with Karos and via Richie. Big time's my middle name. So Charlie's con, long story short. I'm sorry.
I got to admit, Dragon, this whole handprint thing, I kind of geeked out about it. It's super clever.
Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah.
Fizzle Albuquerque versus, you got to admit.
A little bit. It's a little bit of a Mike Ehrmantraut move.
Yeah.
Totally.
It is really heady because Vince Gilligan is developing a grounded sci-fi kind of thing with Ray Seahorn right now, so it does make me wonder, I wonder if we can get away with something like this.
Right.
All right, so basically, Charlie here, his con is he's his first day on the data entry, and he's dropped a disk behind the mainframe of the computer, and you have this guard that helps him move it. Basically, he basically is able to take a casting of the guy's handprint because of his help. So now they have their security in. All right, so Terry.
Look how he just callously just tosses the fucking disc in the trash as soon as the guard's out of the room.
Just adds insult to injury.
I wonder if the guard came back later and saw that in the trash. It was like, wait a minute.
Oh, no, he didn't. All right, so Terry is upset that Bruce was looking into Charlie, which is, I'm keeping my eyes open. You should do the same. So, Tiki, this is the line that kind of lends credence. This honestly might be the Great Conroy.
Okay.
Him saying, I'm keeping my eyes open. You should do the same. It's a teachable moment.
Let's chalk that up as a Great Conroy. Yeah.
But again, to your point earlier, this does seem a little bit like, okay, I'm going to teach him a hard lesson, so hopefully it won't go too far. I'm going to show him you should, look into your friends even if it's hard.
Right, right.
Anyway, so Bruce Wayne reveals that, his friend shared a cell with Richard Armacost. That's the Robert Patrick character, which I love. It's kind of Robert Patrick playing against Type 2, by the way, which makes it even kind of
it is. No, it really is. And William H. Macy is also playing against Type. Like, you would think that they'd switch those roles. You know what I mean?
These are the moments that make you say, God bless Andrea Romano. She's going to make you kind of like, you're going to swap it like that,
Totally.
No typecasting there. Now, it's also think about this, like Earl Bowen. To the kids out there, the other senior, not Maltabon, but the other guy, Earl Bowden. He was like the psychiatrist in Terminator 2, and they cast him as Rhino, the big hulking, henchman of Scarface.
Nice.
So yeah, as I'm saying, we're playing against type. We're casting the little guy as the huge guy sometimes,
You know what? You know where I most remember Robert Patrick from?
What?
He was the dad in Bridge to Terabithia.
Oh, nice. It's a good call.
And he has the very, very memorable line, spoiler alert for Bridge to Terabithia, your friend Leslie is dead. That line fucking haunted any kid who read that goddamn book.
I wonder where the haunting part of that line comes from.
Anyways. It's just like, of course, Robert fucking Patrick, of all people, delivers that line. It's like he can be a Terminator and he can also terminate your emotions, god damn it.
Yeah.
All right, anyways.
Anywho. Rob, just if folks, if you can take any moral away from this episode, is that Robert Patrick is cool. I just want to get that. Okay.
The real moral, though, according to Code Geass, and I agree, is to listen to Bruce.
I like that moral.
All right.
Let's see. So Terry's upset. Bruce, drops the truth bomb on him there. He was in there for insider trading with Agrochem, which means he's the inside contact. Terry mentions that he did email Charlie while he was in prison, so basically he would know that he's working for Bruce Wayne, so it was all a scam. Terry's upset. He hits the chair. Doesn't pick up the chair, but he hits the chair. Just saying.
Bruce is just glaring at him like, punk kid doesn't even pick up the damn chair.
Yeah. I just had that adjusted the way I liked it too. Terry, I'm an old man. I have back problems. I fought Bane. Would it kill you to pick up the chair? Give you a bat suit? I let you play with my dog. You can pick up the chair.
Okay, we hyperfixate on like the most fucking random things on this channel.
Anyway, so the plan. Well, if you think this is all, I'll just wait till if you ever listen to the Recapinator, the Phineas and Ferb thing we do.
Okay.
I'm saying we hyperfixate on that.
Right.
Really
quick, I just want to give a shout out to Little Blue. He's saying welcome back from Vegas. Thank you, man. Monkey and I are probably going to do a trip report sometime this weekend. We just need to figure out a day. He's also asking about the new look at the Superman suit. You know what? I'm just going to say it right now. I am so sick of nerd culture on the internet where, like, literally every time anything about any project comes out, there's always some form of outrage about it. So, Little Blue, I have not looked into it because, once again, I've heard, like, oh my God, what the fuck is James Gunn doing? He's ruining Superman. I'm like, oh my God, you people need to fucking calm down. Jesus Christ.
I'm just going to say this. With any Superman costume reveal, there's only one important question. Only one. Trunks or no trunks? That's all you need. Right. That's the only thing you need to talk about whenever you see the Superman costume.
Yeah, I could do a whole podcast on how sick I am of like nerd culture outrage. It's exhausting. It's fucking exhausting. Anyways. All right.
So, okay, let's see. So the plan is, Charlie wears the glove to open the loading dock. So
can we just talk about how cool the technology of the glove is? By the way,
well,
it's just another like awesome wrinkle in this heist plan that I really like.
Yep. No, I'm with you. I do love those. I always love those touches in the heist movie where you can make like the copy of the guy's hand, or like in Mission Impossible, they make the face thing and all that kind of stuff. So the handprint's really cool. And I actually
rewatched Ocean's 11 for the first time since I was a kid, right before my trip, and that was a lot of fun to revisit. That was a lot of fun.
I meant to ask you, did you rewatch the Rugrats Vegas special before you went?
Of course, twice, Dragon.
I know. I was thinking about it.
The Rugrats special.
I wanted to make sure.
You know what else I watched? The fucking donkey episode of Father of the Pride.
Okay, dumb. Well, no, actually, this is not a dumb question. It's actually a legit question. Did you happen to watch Vegas Vacation while you were there?
No, I did not get around to Vegas Vacation. I did watch Casino.
Ah.
And also, leaving Las Vegas.
Well, oh wait, was it when you were leaving though?
No, it was right before.
Come on.
Well, you know why I watched that? Because I knew that I wasn't going to be drinking on the trip, and I was like, okay, you know what? This is the perfect movie for someone who's going to Vegas and not planning to drink.
Well, just for giggles, Tiki, just to complete you watched all the other Vegas movies. You should watch Vegas Vacation.
Yeah, I know I should. Anyways, I was also going to watch Last Vegas, but it wasn't on any streaming service.
That's a nice movie. Anyway.
I digress.
Michael Douglas and pals aside. Let's see. So, again, the plan is, use the glove, open the loading dock. I like how clear and simple that is. All they got to do is have him open the door. So, let's see. So, the idea is, Charlie watched Richie's back in prison, so he thinks he's in good standing and good favor there, and there's a lot of tension with Karros because of that. Karros thinks he's just a punk kid, and he's just been forced to bring along on the heist. Terry confronts Charlie. Confronts Charlie on the heist. Now, mind you, I'm sorry. That's just the plan they go over. They don't actually enact that yet, but they just go over that plan. And Terry outside, he confronts him, knowing that he's going to do this. And this is a really great aspect of the episode: is that Terry is trying to give him every opportunity not to throw his life away, knowing that he's betrayed him. That's a really great character thing for Terry.
And Terry feels like he at least owes him that attempt. You know what I mean?
He gives him an attempt as Terry and as Batman, which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
He gives him each, like, on both sides of himself. He gives him one chance.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so what are you going to be, a gopher for the rest of your life? You're still you're still just it's a kid looking for shortcuts. Says Terry to him. So yeah, it does not go the way Terry hopes. There's a little bit of a scuffle. There's no backing out with these people. So again, also Charlie is up against the wall. Even if he wanted to change his mind, he is in too deep. He can't change it now.
Right, yeah.
You're always thinking small, Terry. And of course, during the scuffle, Terry
it's kind of like another Albuquerque verse thing where you got to be careful about who you get into bed with, business wise.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, Terry, he's during that little scuffle. It was a scuffle with purpose. He scuffled with him, so he put the bat tracer on the case. So now he's going to be able to find him.
I also like the line, "You're the one that hasn't changed, McGinnis." Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Now you'll notice he did the bat voice when he was gone. He says, "Yes, I have."
Oh yeah, I did notice that. That's cool.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, Kokia says, "Imagine if Terry dressed up as a gopher instead of a bat." I'm Gopher Man. All right. All right, moving on.
All right, so it's heist night. Get your tickets now. It's heist night at the biochem lab. So Charlie, he stuns the guard, uses the glove to open the door. 2 minutes, of loading the chemicals. That's the plan. That's the plan. Had gone off without a hitch. Batman is there, of course. But he gives him a chance to walk away, which is pretty big. And again, that's Bruce Wayne giving him some big leeway there. It's like, look, just walk away. He knows who it is. They're very aware of who's behind this heist. So Terry just really wants Charlie just to get out of there. But
I like how Batman literally he formally announced it. Okay, guys, I'm giving you a rare chance here.
Mm-hmm. So during the fight, one of the canisters gets knocked over. Charlie is fiddling with it, and he gets. Now, this is important to you. That glove, as much as we've been kind of gushing over how cool it is, also serves a plot purpose.
Yeah.
You'll notice that when he transforms, he is very.
One of the arms is a lot bigger than the other one
because of the glove.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, so he basically gets all the Sarah Stone kind of spilled onto him, which is going to have a very bad effect later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So he's covered in it. He gets away. Batman, he gets buried in soil and debris in the biolab here as the crooks get away. Charlie, he almost gets left behind. He clings onto the truck for dear life.
He pretty much does, right? They would have left his ass behind if he didn't jump on that truck.
Exactly. So Karros, he is making this really is where Charlie really is reaping what he sowed here. Karros is making Charlie the fall guy for this failure and making him pay up
He's making him Ryan Gosling. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dragon, I'm just gonna. You haven't seen the Fall Guy yet, have you?
I have.
Oh, you have? Oh God.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan, but we'll get to that on Memoirs. We'll talk about it on Memoirs. Anyways.
There's your cell line. We'll talk about it on Memoirs.
We'll talk about that movie. It was very much just all right. Anyways.
Okay. Anywho. So Karros, he's making Charlie. He's collecting payment from Charlie for the botched job, or else he's gonna get Wolverine clawed. He's gonna get snitted, snitted from top to tail. Anyway, so Charlie, he's not well. He's not looking well. He's not feeling well, and he's slowly starting to transform rather horrifically. But we're getting there.
I love how it starts with just the one pulse of the hand.
Yeah,
it's a great little tease of what's to come.
I love how we build it up there.
Uh-huh.
I love the tone of this last scene. So, of kind of Charlie in human form here. So, Dana is concerned, that Charlie's going to rope Terry into something, and Max is like, look, you're gonna have to ask Terry what went down. Like, it's not my place to tell you.
Mm.
So Charlie looks like looks like a desperate man, like a junkie practically, in a bind. He needs 40,000 creds, and he needs him to lift it from Old Man Wayne.
Right.
Yep, and Terry can't do it, and he just gives him like, look, turn yourself in, okay? It'll protect you from whoever you got involved with. And of course, as Batman, he'll probably protect him too. This is actually a really good idea that he's giving him here. Turn yourself in. And
yet another out that he's giving him that he just doesn't take.
So that's the really good thing.
With his physical condition right now, I'm not sure how much of an out that actually would have been.
Well, I mean, he would have transformed, but he just would have, it would have been freakish, but it's still in custody.
Right.
I mean, he still would have been fine. Just would have been, probably in a hospital, which might have made him more.
That probably would have been better, actually. Come to think of it.
Yeah. Anyway,
right.
So, so Charlie's Charlie's not well, and he says stay away, and he runs off. Terry is concerned for his former friend. Again, we have some Two-Face parallels here.
Oh yeah.
And again, I like that we're seeing that Terry is like in a similar way, and I like that we're not like spelling it out broadly in big letters too. I like that we're kind of seeing that, there's a little desperation for Bruce to help Harvey Dent, and then here we're seeing like Terry doing everything in his power without breaking any rules to help his friend here.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Terry confides in Max about the backstory.
And this is a scene I was talking about where the animation just really stands out to me. I think it's that purple sky in the background. The sky is just very striking.
It's a good landscape.
Uh-huh.
So Terry, basically we learn, Terry was taking the divorce of his folks pretty hard, and kind of found a friendship in Charlie. Did a lot of dumb kid things. They were like breaking windows, shoplifting, a lot of like bad teen stuff. Mm-hmm. And Charlie basically got involved with a gang, and there was a gang initiation. He basically dragged TT along with him for a heist. Terry, and importantly, Terry did not know that this was a heist. He didn't just go along and say, yeah, let's rob people. He was just kind of dragged along. It's kind of like that. It reminds me a little bit of that situation from Hey Arnold. Arnold fell in the
very much so. Very much so. Yeah, absolutely.
Arnold, initially you think
it's such a fucking stupid premise too, because it's like the window that's football shaped.
I know, right? God, they didn't account for the ears either. That's why he got stuck. How's he gonna get back out?
Oh man.
You have to hope the door, it looks like it's like a building. I don't even think it's like a door. It's just a building. He has to climb through that same window.
Kogia says Charlie looks like an adult Arnold, and yeah, I'm not gonna lie, just like a realistic, like non-football head, like proper human proportions version of Arnold. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So. Yeah, so point being, Terry was basically dragged along during this heist. They got busted. Terry was 14 at the time. This is basically 3 years. Again, where we time things out here. I mean, give or take, we're 3 years before he meets Bruce Wayne when this happens. Charlie was 18 at the time. Terry got juvie. Charlie got 3 years, and he feels insanely guilty for his friend doing prison time, and also kind of helping him, downplaying things, make sure Terry did not do a hard time. And Max tells him, that's not on him. It's
first of all, it was his fault that he got roped into the situation to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, Terry did not willfully make the choice to do this bad thing with him.
Right.
That would be actual guilt. Like, he was just kind of dragged along. He's a victim of circumstance in that case.
All right.
Anyway, so, we have this great moment here too. He's my friend, and he's going to die without my help. So that's the dilemma.
No, I mean, honestly, man, this is the stuff that really elevates this episode for me. This episode feels like a little bit of an event because it gets so deep into his backstory.
there are a lot of parallels to if you had a friend who had like a drug problem or a gambling problem. Basically, it's like the whole thing of a friend who needs to hit rock bottom before there's a change in them. Where Max gives him a really good piece of advice, saying, "You're not going to bring him to his senses. He needs to do that himself." That's a really good line. That's a very realistic thing. Every time you have a friend in crisis, that's the rock bottom moment. They need to do that themselves.
Right.
And then Terry has a good retort to this. I can keep him alive until he does. Like, that's the mission of Bat. Like, that's my proud. That's the proud of your boy moment with Terry. Right there. Yeah. It's like, I can keep him alive until he does. Like, yeah.
Totally.
Like that's Batman trying to help Harvey Dent before something bad happens right there. Like that's I can at least do what I can. So it begins to rain. All your purple clouds turn to sad rain, Tiki. The rain of tragedy. Let the tragedy.
I was gonna say, Dragon. The whole thing with the rain. It's super Blade Runner-esque.
Yeah.
It's very much. It gives me some big Blade Runner vibes.
Oh yeah. So we reveal Charlie has been turned into a monster, big time. Yep. Got lightning and everything, and it looks pretty cool. Batman records again. The whole plan here is like he's trying to take down the bad guys, so they won't be after Charlie. So hence the whole keeping him alive thing. Batman has recorded Kairos and Richie doing their illegal dealings at the office.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough to hold up, but it's enough to hold him for a day or so, which is all he needs. So I think the plan here is to get Charlie out of town at least, or something.
That's what I read it as, yeah. And I love the cocky pose that Batman has, like leaning against the window like that.
Well, look like the episode's kind of done right now, and then an asymmetrical, wrinkle in the plan crashes through the wall.
Right.
Richie!
Oh, God.
Yep.
And then, just full-on Wolverine mode. Literally, like, he jumps like Wolverine and everything.
Not Wolverine, it's Hulk versus Wolverine, because we have a Hulk down.
Exactly. Oh, God.
This is why we need Ruffalo in that that Deadpool Wolverine movie.
I'm really hoping for it. I mean, I am like I don't think it's gonna happen, but man, if that movie was just like a backdoor Deadpool or Hulk versus Wolverine movie, I'd be so.
I might legitimately cry tears in the theater if we do that, because that's how I first watched Deadpool. It's like, oh my god, it's Hulk, Wolverine, and Deadpool all in the.
It'd be like the most fucking full circle moment of your entire life.
Exactly. It would absolutely be that. There's like, it's not out of the
thing is, I feel like the Hulk absolutely fucking needs like a reboot too, right? He needs like a really big thing to like get people back into him.
One thing does occur to me real quick, and we'll get back to the episode. It's almost over. If they can't get Ruffalo, which they should, but if they can't, if we are eliminating the past Marvel projects, Eric Bana.
I mean, that'd be wild.
There you go. I'm just saying, if we can't get Ruffalo, if they don't want to like have to address the whole, then we have to do like a timey-wimey sort of thing. If they don't want to do it, which they could, because TVA.
Well, I mean, it's multiverse, Dragon. Chalk it up.
I know.
Multiverse.
I know. That's what I'm saying, though. The other multiverse route to go, Eric Bana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway. Or, good God, can you imagine Ed Norton?
Oh, that'd be fucking crazy.
They won't do that. Kevin Feige does not like Edward Norton.
No, yeah, I believe it. I
learned that. Learned that in that Icons thing. They do not like Edward Norton. They don't like him.
Oh God.
Especially Zach Stentz. Zach Stentz does not like Ed Norton.
Okay, that right there, what you just said, that's definitely like the biggest selling point for me to actually watch that. I definitely want to get in on some Ed Norton tea.
Yeah. Admittedly, the book gets into it a lot more, but yeah, it's anyway. Okay, his point being,
go back and paint him green again. Can you imagine?
See, that in Multiverse of Madness, I think that might have been possible. You know, we.
Okay, well, first of all, Multiverse of Madness was not the Cameo Fest movie that everyone thought it was going to be.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, had it been that,
Had
that's
it
where.
been that, then yes.
Because I'm saying, you know what you would have done? You would have had Lou Ferrigno Hulk versus, the Incredible Hulk version of Thor. You know, that's what you would have had that rematch, because that guy's doing like well, they show you in that icon. I won't spoil it for you. They show you what that Thor's doing now. It's kind of funny.
Nice. All right.
Anyway, so going is Charlie. Charlie's trying to get revenge on the guys he feels set them up. They didn't really do that, but they were threatening his life. And so he's going after it. He's going to Karos and get into kind of a Hulk Wolverine-esque fight. Blames Richie, holds him out a window, dangles him for dear life. Anyway, so Karos attacks, and Karos ends up falling because he's kind of an idiot, honestly. He's like, I'm gonna slash.
Yeah, legit.
Batman doesn't. Batman doesn't want to fight Charlie. He's getting his butt kicked. He doesn't want to fight Charlie, obviously, because he knows it's his friend there, and he throws like a tear gas bomb, and he. Unfortunately, it doesn't go well, and he wants the respect he deserves and everything, and we tear gas bombs him, and he ends up going down. And says, "Oh, Charlie." It's a sad one, and it's like Harvey, no, and oh, Charlie.
Right.
Anyway, so then we have the arrest. Karos is alive. We say that he's alive.
I picked that. I was like, oh my god, that's gotta be that's such a fucking obvious like censorship note.
Yeah, because I'm saying you watched that. Okay, he's very clearly dead.
I was like, okay, are they not going to address that? Like, no, they do. They do. Like, how he survived to fall off a fucking skyscraper, I do not know, but...
That's the thing, though. It's like, it's kind of like he did lead to his own demise there. Like an idiot, he cut like the thing he was standing on.
Yeah.
That's not Batman's fault. That's not Terry's fault at all there, okay?
Right. I think they probably... it must have been a censorship note. It must have been. Because
I think so.
Because the dialogue is, like, so fucking, like, thrown in there.
Yep. It's all, we don't have to show his body, so it's all,
Exactly, right.
Anyway... So then we, as Charlie's arrested, Dana says, oh, I knew it. I'm glad you. Basically, I'm glad you got in your. I'm glad you weren't involved, and now you would have gotten yourself hurt. And Terry says, "Lucky me." And it's a real somber kind of note to end on. It's like,
it's a really melancholy ending, which I really appreciate. Like, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, it's not like one of those sunset endings we keep doing in Batman Beyond. It's like, no, there's here. It's like, no, Charlie, his friend is now kind of mutated, and he's going to prison for much longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sad.
All right. Yeah. So, Dragon, final thoughts. Honestly, this is definitely the best episode of season 3 so far. Like, not even a question. But honestly, this might be in my top 10 for me of the whole series. Like, I really like this one a lot. I think the opening heist goes on maybe a little bit too long, but that is such a nitpick. Like, once we actually get introduced to the title character, and I really think this is a great kind of showcase of Terry's character, his heroism. It's a showcase of how far he's come as Batman over the past seasons. So yeah, this one really knocked it out of the park for me, man. I was really happy with this one.
Yeah, I'm shocked you liked it as much as you did. I'm happy about that, but yeah, it's
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the episode. Here's the thing. I forgot how kind of strong the introduction of Charlie was, and I do really like on the rewatch how we really kind of linger on the complex emotions that Terry's dealing with. And again, that scene that really stuck out to me, again, it's him having that conversation with Max. We only give Max really one big scene in the episode. She's in the episode for 3 scenes. We give her one big scene, and they really made it worth it. It kind of gave me some parallels to, well, not direct parallels, but it felt a little like that really great scene in Captain America: Winter Soldier with Steve and Sam on the bridge, like right before the third act, or saying,
sure.
I don't think he's the kind of friend you stop.
Right.
Whereas like that kind of moment of I don't know, I thought there was something really, really great and understated about that. I like the way we have a compelling scene like that, and he's not even in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times that you can look at it really like, well, of course, we want to care about the character, but it's like sometimes, we shouldn't let that go by. You know, sometimes the fact that we care about these characters out of costume in a business where it's very much built on, well, okay, what's the percentage of time that he's in the suit and he's not in the suit and everything? You know, like sometimes networks used to think like that, but not in the DCAU. We care about him in and out of the costume.
I mean, honestly, for me nowadays, I feel like the more you have them out of the costume, not always the case. Not always the case. I'm thinking of something like Dark Knight Rises, right? Yeah. But like generally speaking, I think the more like Iron Man 3, I think is a good example of like a movie where he's not in the costume a good part of the time, and yet it really works.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dragon, well, really quick, let's thank Code Geass, Little Blue, and Warp Monarch. Glad to be back, everyone. All right, cue us up for the next one, Dragon.
All right. Batman's Birthday, a jaunty musical number, Love and Lazarus, Ken Talia Al Ghul, return Bruce Wayne to his glory days, or will Bruce Wayne fall prey to the arrogance of youth?
Oh, God.
Tune in next time to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to Batcave Beyond with Out of the Past. We have to help them, Charlie. We're the smiling friends.